Stop just saying that your health is a priority or that it's so important. Here's the thing. If I asked you, what are the most important things in your life right now? You would probably say, my family, my kids, my health. But if we looked at your calendar and where you spend your time and energy, would it match that? Because saying your health matters, but not actually doing anything, they're totally different things. And this episode, there's some tough love in it. I love you guys. But this isn't about guilt, okay? This episode is not about guilt. So if you are hearing that and you're like, wait, I've been saying my health is priority, but I know my actions have not been matching up. First off, I'm going to give you a huge virtual hug. This is not about guilt at all, but this is about awareness because you deserve to be the healthiest you. You do deserve to care about your health and you just need a system in place. And so in this episode, I'm going to be sharing some tough love, of course, but also some tips on things that you can start doing and shifting to start making your health a priority. So if you're new here, hey there, I'm Brooke. I'm a registered dietitian. I'm a lactation counselor. I'm a mom of 3 little ones, and I've helped thousands of moms reach their healthiest weight and feel like themselves again without sacrificing their favorite foods or their milk supply. And on my channel, I make postpartum nutrition and breastfeeding less complicated so you can get results with your health. And I post new videos every Tuesday, so make sure to subscribe and hit that notification button so that you can be notified whenever there's a new episode. Please hit that thumbs up button before we get started so that I know that you are taking action on what we covered today. And you can see how many other moms are there supporting you. So here's what happens for so many of us as moms. We take on this identity as the caretaker. And for many of us, it's like this badge of honor that we're putting our kids and our spouse and everyone ahead of us. I grew up in the Midwest, and so especially there, it's like this badge of honor of who can work the hardest and who can, take the best care of your kids and the best, care of this and work the most hours. And it kind of becomes this thing where everybody else's needs start to become more important than ours. And so many moms use that as a badge of honor of like, look how selfless I am. Look how, good of a mom I am. And here's the thing. You are already a good mom. If you're watching this, I can guarantee you that you are an incredible mom. Even if your health is a priority, you're still an incredible mom. This does not make you any less of a mom or any less of a caretaker. But when we take on that identity of the caretaker, we kind of use that as a badge of honor, then that slowly pushes our needs further down the list. It's like, oh, I need to get laundry done. I need to answer the work emails. I need to be the one doing all of the appointments. I need to be cooking dinner. I need to remember every detail. And listen, if you have kids that are older, this is not for me necessarily, for some of you with really little kids, but as our kids get older, we need to also give them some responsibilities. Can some of your kids help with cooking? Can some of your kids, are they at that age where they're teenagers? Can they start doing some of the laundry and some of the chores around the house? I know growing up, it was from a very young age. My brother and I were in charge of chores, and every Saturday we had our chore list and we had to, do it. And then the summer, especially, the summer, every day my parents would leave and they would leave us a chore list. And then we would have to either fight over who's doing what chore or whatever. But anyway, growing up, chores, it was the expectation that my brother and I also provided for the family with, cleaning and some of that stuff. So just know that if you have older kids, it is a great thing to teach your kids some of these responsibilities. And so it doesn't have to be you doing everything. Now, if you're like me and you have little kids who, granted my 3-year-old's obsessed with laundry, but he's not folding it and put it away. He's just watching the washing machine. But if you have a partner or a spouse or family nearby who can help you, can you relieve some of the burden of motherhood and give some tasks to your partner or anybody who, maybe it's a parent that lives nearby who helps you, or a sitter, or hiring house cleaners to come in and deep clean? Can you pass off some responsibilities so that you have a little bit more wiggle room to ensure that your health is also on the list? And there's this beautiful quote, and it's not about me first, but me too. I believe it's L.R. Nost. I could look it up. It's not about me first. So it's not about me telling my kids my needs are more important than yours, but it's about me too. So my kids have learned at a very young age that yes, they need to eat, they need food on the table, but mommy's also going to sit down and eat with them. And if they need more water or they want more seconds or whatever, they know, hey, you're going to have to wait a minute because mommy's also eating. My kids know that there's certain 30 minutes in the morning before they wake up from 6 a.m. to 6:30 6:30 that I am working out. That is my time alone. And if my 3-year-old is up, which there's not, I would say 50-50. Sometimes he's up at 6 a.m. and he'll say, Mommy. I say, yep, you can come down with me. You can work out with me, and you can, roll out them a yoga mat and like work out with me / listen to music, or you can play with toys next to me, or you can read a book on the couch next to me. But like, this is mommy's time. And so I'm even showing him at a young age, my health is a priority and you can be part of it, and I'll lift you, and like, I can get you involved, and I can make it fun, and I can show you that. As moms, it is so common for our identity to be wrapped up as I'm just a mom. And here's the thing, you are not just a mom. And being a mom is probably the most important responsibility you have. I think it's the most important responsibility I have. It's the hardest job I've ever done. And it's one of the most beautiful jobs I've ever done. And I take it very seriously. Also, more than a mom, I also have goals and friends and things outside of motherhood. And so something that we can start doing is asking for help so that our health can be more of a priority. Because when you are the healthiest version of you, when you are energized and calm and patient and you're taking care of your health, you are going to show up so much better for the ones that you love most. Here's some tough love. Your words don't set the priorities. Your actions do. Now, I could open up your bank account right now and I could look at somebody's 30 days worth of spending, and I could instantly tell you what your priorities are based on where you're spending your money and based on where you're spending your time. If we did a, 24-hour audit of your day, how many hours are you sleeping? Okay. If you're sleeping 3-4 hours and you're going to bed at 1 a.m., I can tell you that sleep is not a priority for you. If you say, yeah, exercise is a priority for me, and you're saying that, but the last time you exercised was maybe like 1 10-minute walk this week, then you may believe that exercise is a priority, but you are not making it a priority. Now, I am not saying that you need to make every aspect of your health a priority all at once. And actually, I wouldn't recommend that, because that is going to lead to burnout and overwhelm. And again, I don't want you to feel guilt or shame if you're like, wait, I really want my health to be a priority, but right now it's not. It doesn't mean that you failed. It just means that you need some structure and support to follow through. Okay. Because we do not want to be burned out or overwhelmed. That is just going to make life so much harder. So somewhere along the line, and I grew up also kind of thinking this, and I think, especially my first job out of college as a dietitian, I heard this every day. Eating healthy is so expensive. It's so hard. It's time consuming. You have to meal prep for hours. You have to buy all these fancy ingredients. You have to only go to Whole Foods. It's so hard. And that is something that I heard from all of my clients at my first job. There is a little truth to some of that, but not necessarily all true. Here's the thing. If we're comparing prices of a bag of carrots to a bag of chips, guess what? The bag of chips is more expensive. If we are looking at soda prices, like, oh my gosh, soda prices are so expensive. If we're spending money on soda, that's not giving our body any nutritional value, but that is also spending money necessarily true. I make healthy meals for my family, and I tell you, our grocery budget, we have really toned it down. Our grocery budget is very in control. And I promise you that you can spend less than $1,000 a month on groceries if you're here in the US for a family of 5. You can spend literally $800 or less for a family of 4. And you might be hearing that and think that's impossible. And it's just, if we're not planning ahead, if we have a lot of food waste, then yeah, it's gonna be really hard. Or if we're buying a lot of things, like a lot of chips and a lot of soda. And I'm not saying that we should never have those things in our house and be perfect, but I am saying those things do add up. They add up to be a lot of money. The moms who are thriving are not perfect. They're just supported. They have support systems in place, and that can be other people helping. That can just be systems in place. And so when we stop chasing perfection and we really just focus on building consistent habits with our health, that is where things change. And that is what helped me lose over 50 pounds postpartum. That is what helped me get 15 pounds under my pre-baby weight after 3 kids while still breastfeeding, and helping me feel strong again. So I'm going to share some quick tips to really help you with your mindset around this healthy mom identity specifically, and just some tangible tips to help you get started if you really believe that your health should be a priority and you want it to be a priority and you feel like right now it's not. Okay, so one is pick one meal or one habit to start with. Okay, so we do not want to overhaul our entire health all at once. I'm just going to list out a few in order that I think are really important. So one is sleep. If right now you are going to bed after midnight and you're getting maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep, that is the place I would recommend starting. Can you go to bed earlier? Can you get close to 8? I know it's not perfect. My daughter is 1 and she's still up frequently to nurse and all the things. So we're not necessarily going to get 8 full hours of sleep, but But if you're getting a lot less than like 6 hours of sleep, I would say that would be the habit I personally would focus on first. Now, if sleep is going okay, then I think nutrition is the next place that I would recommend starting, and specifically one meal. My personal favorite is to start with breakfast. So can you just get breakfast planned and created, something balanced and healthy for breakfast all week long? And that's it. I don't even care what you do for lunch or dinner. Can we just work on breakfast? And something that's really helped me that I've shared in another episode as well is I have been working out at 6 a.m. and then I come upstairs and I prepare breakfast for me and the kids. And then I get the kids out of bed. So even though sometimes my 3-year-old, I try to keep the other ones in their rooms at least until breakfast is prepared. I make really simple breakfast. It's not like I'm making things that take more than 10 minutes. But I think when you can get a balanced breakfast on your plate first, that just sets up your whole day to be successful. So if you are having a healthy, balanced breakfast, high protein, you're going to have less cravings. You're going to have less mood swings. You're going to have better focus throughout the day. So that is definitely where I would start. Again, sleep first if that's not consistent, or at least an earlier bedtime if that's not consistent. And then I would move to breakfast. Now, if those two things are consistent, then I think we can start focusing on lunch or dinner or both. And then we can start, building other habits throughout. You definitely don't want to start with, okay, I need to overhaul my whole life, so we're going to do everything. Like, we're just picking one at a time. These actions over time, the consistency is much more important than perfection. So progress over perfection here. Okay. Perfection's never the goal. We're not going to be perfect. We're moms. Like, we have sick kids. We have things come up, traveling. Like, just don't expect perfection. It's not going to happen. So let's just learn from the things that aren't going well or didn't go as planned and make a plan, get some structure in place so that can be easier. I also want to anchor our identity in small actions. So for a long time, I took on the identity that I was not a morning person. Oh, I'm not a morning person. I'm not a morning person. I don't want to get up before my kids. Like, I had this identity like through college, before kids, my whole life, basically for 36 years, I've had the identity of I'm not a morning person, right? And my husband he gets up in the morning, right? He is up way before, he leaves before I'm even up. And for so long, I was like, well, I can only work out in the afternoon or when the kids go to bed because I'm not a morning person. And so I took on that identity. And because I took on that identity, that was affecting my behaviors. And so I switched that and I said, okay, what if instead I ditch that? I don't say I'm not a morning person anymore. And I just try it. I just try waking up before the kids to get in a workout in peace and quiet where there's like nobody to distract me or bother me so that I can have my peace and quiet first thing in the morning. And then can I make breakfast in peace before they're all screaming and crying like, I'm hungry, where's my food? I started doing that and realizing like, sure, when my alarm goes off, I'm not always like, yay, I'm so excited to get out of bed. But I'm like, I know if I do this, I know if I get up, I know if I work out, I know if I get breakfast ready before the kids are up, I know my morning will go a lot smoother. And so instead of focusing on in the moment of like, I'm not going to lie and say like, I'm a morning person now. When my alarm goes off, instead I say, okay, if I work out right now, I know how my morning will go. And that is what I want. I want to have a calmer morning. I want to have a happier morning. I want to have a more peaceful morning. That's important to me. And so my actions then follow. And so just sometimes we have to ditch that old identity. Sometimes it's that identity of I'm a sugar addict. Like I can't be trusted in the house with sugar. I'm a sugar addict. Okay, well, if you have that identity, guess what? It's going to be a lot harder to feel in control around sugar. When it comes to health as our priority, our identity, how we talk to ourselves, how we describe ourselves is so important. And so often we just, don't even think about that. And if you have not listened yet to my episode with my friend Brad Bizjack, please go back. It is one of the more recent episodes. Please listen to that episode because it is so powerful. We just talk so much about how our identity shapes our actions and behaviors. Okay, something else we need to ditch is this all or nothing mindset. I think for so often we're like, all right, I'm going to overhaul my health. I'm going to exercise 5 days a week and I'm going to drink all this water and I'm going to give up alcohol and I'm going to cook all my meals from scratch and I'm in a meal plan and I am going to go for a walk every single day and I'm going to eat vegetables at lunch, breakfast, and dinner. We just completely go into this all or nothing mentality. And that is one way to set us up just for failure. And we need to ditch that. We need to ditch the all or nothing mindset and mentality. We have to ditch the fact that we're not going to be perfect. One balanced meal is going to be better than no balanced meals. And even if your goal is 5 workouts a week, let's say, it's okay to start with 1 and build that consistency. And then the next week, build up to 2. And, maybe you're not doing any exercise. Then maybe for you, I'm going to do 5 minutes 3 days a week. And that may feel like, what's even the point? I'm not even, getting that much benefit. It's really about you building that habit and consistency and showing, your family, showing yourself, building that trust with yourself that, hey, I am making my health a priority. Even if it's 5 minutes, 3 days a week, I promise you, we all have that. We all have 5 minutes, 3 days a week. And so if you're not working out at all right now, or you're not making any meals from home for yourself, let's start really small and build that trust with ourselves and prove to ourselves, hey, look at me. I am making my health a priority. cheering for yourself. Like you should be so proud. You're like, hey, I went to bed early all week, and maybe treat yourself to like an iced coffee over the weekend or a pedicure. Like also it's okay to reward yourself for, making your health a priority and taking action. Sometimes those rewards can be really helpful. Part of the shift is also learning to ask for help and releasing any guilt that comes with it. So it's okay if you're like, this laundry is getting in the way, and like I feel like I have to do all the laundry and do the dishes and do all this and get all this stuff done before I work out or before I take care of my health. And sometimes, we just have to realize, what? There's always gonna be laundry for us to do as moms. There's always gonna be dishes, always gonna be things to pick up. There's always gonna be stuff around the house. And I really like to be in a decluttered environment. I really, really appreciate being in a clean house. Like absolutely understand that need and desire and want. And my house is relatively clean, but I also know that my workout or my cooking or whatever, that's still going to come before the laundry. That's still going to come before doing the dishes. We sometimes just need to shift with, hey, this can happen first. And then these other things on my to-do list as a mom that are inevitable, that are on all of our lists, those can come later. And if that certain things don't happen until tomorrow, like sometimes the laundry just sits in the dryer for us for a day or two before it gets folded. And like at the end of the day, if I got my walk in or if I got my workout in, I'm going to be a happier person just like letting that laundry sit for the next day versus feeling like I'm not allowed to work out or take care of my health or do something for me until that laundry is done. So sometimes it's just reprioritizing the order. I know for so many moms, eating healthy can feel impossible. It can feel like it has to be really expensive. It has to be time consuming. It has to be, time away from our family. And here's the truth. We can actually nourish our bodies and fuel our bodies 15 minutes or less. We can buy things at the grocery store that are not going to break the bank. We can spend less money at the grocery store. We can spend less time in the kitchen and still meet our health goals. We can show our kids how to cook in the kitchen. We can model for our older kids and get them involved with cooking in the kitchen. It is possible. Like we sometimes just even need to shift our mindset with eating healthy has to be complicated. Like if you carry that belief, eating healthy has to be complicated, eating healthy or, making my health a priority makes me selfish. Like we need to let that ish go. Okay. Because if we hold on to that, it's gonna be really hard for us to be successful with our health. And so just acknowledging those thoughts and being like, you know what? Eating healthy can be simple. Exercising can be simple. Maybe it's 5 minutes and maybe it's, putting my baby in a carrier and doing body weight workouts. Maybe it's my exercise is going for a walk with the stroller with my kids. Like it does not have to be perfect. It does not have to be just the expectation of maybe what it was even before kids, but we really need to address any of those beliefs or thoughts that are creeping in there because again, those will keep you stuck. That is truly like why I created Busy Mom Meals, because I know that I don't have 20 to 40 minutes to cook in the kitchen. I don't have the sanity of my kids chilling for that long. Like I don't have patience and I don't want to also have like a ton of dishes to prep. I don't want to have to buy even more ingredients at the grocery store. So for me, I realized my life got a lot simpler when I planned ahead, started doing grocery delivery or grocery pickup so that I'm not spending time in the grocery store, only choosing a few meals a week, planning ahead. We have less waste. I have less time in the kitchen. I'm not spending a lot of time in the kitchen, but how I package my leftovers, I put them in little glass containers and portion them out so that when when lunch rolls around, I can just grab something from the fridge, take the cover off. It's glass. I can throw it in the microwave and boom, lunch is ready. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to spend any time on lunch. Like I rarely spend more than 2 minutes eating lunch. I spend less than 10 minutes on breakfast, usually 5 minutes because I eat the same breakfast every day. And then dinner, some nights we just eat leftovers for dinner. And then the other nights I'm making something that is 15 minutes or less. Today I made a crock pot meal and it took me, I think I timed it and it was like 6 minutes to throw everything in the crock pot. And now it's just sitting until dinner time. So I truly believe that you can make your health a priority and you don't have to take all of your time and energy. It doesn't have to be really time consuming or really hard. Like this can be so doable for moms. And again, remember, we're taking care of our health, we are going to show up differently. We are going to be happier. We are going to be healthier. We're going to have more energy for our partner, for our kids. We're going to be calmer and less, overstimulated. And taking care of your health, it is not selfish. Putting your needs last is not actually this badge of honor that you may think it is. And your needs are just as important as your kids. And it's very, important to show our kids that and to model that for our kids so that they don't grow up thinking that their needs have to come last when they become parents. So if you're ready to stop saying that your health is a priority and you're actually ready to live it and to actually make your health a priority, then you can click the link in the show notes to join Busy Mom Meals. I send you weekly done for you meal plans, grocery lists. There's of course like crock pot and sheet pan meals as well. It's not overwhelming. Like I only give you enough of a variety so that you have some options to choose from, but not enough where it's like you're looking at Netflix and there's so many options, you don't know what to choose. And then you just turn on The Office or Friends. It's not like that, right? So you will be able to pick out really simple meals and be spending a lot less time in the kitchen, less time time cleaning up in the kitchen and still make meals that your family will eat that will make you feel better and help you reach your health goals so that your health can be a priority. When you take action on what you've learned, be sure to come back to this video, share some results, share what you've implemented from this so that I can cheer you on. Be sure to come hang out with me over on Instagram at Nutrition for Mamas. If you want to learn more about my programs, you can check out the free class below. This class is perfect for you if you are pregnant or in the first few years postpartum, if you're breastfeeding. I walk you through the 3-step nutrition method that I use with my clients. Remember, mama, you deserve to feel good again.